pleasure to invite on stage architect Snehal and architect Bhadri Suthar from the Grid Architects. Let's double up that applause. We've got two speakers coming together.
So today we are going to present two projects. One is of course a trimble wall structure which is Tarang, located in Gandhinagar. And the other one is an experimental house. It's a future experimental house. It's about to make. So we'll straight away go to the presentation. I think Bhadri will take over the presentation.
So this is Tarang, the largest terracotta brick tile wall structure, as we all know. It is constructed by a very traditional methodology. It celebrates the artistry of the artisans. And it's a very dynamic pavilion for multi-purpose activities. It is located in Western India in a hot and arid climate of Gandhinagar, which is the planned capital city of Gujarat. As you can observe here in the plan and section, Tarang in Gandhinagar is surrounded by a lot of dense urban buildings. Tarang is part of a redevelopment project, and it is within a campus which already houses two restaurants and cafes. The intervention here therefore aims to create a very versatile and a dynamic pavilion, accommodating various activities within and around the building. The brief for Tarang was that we had no brief, and because there was no brief, there were no constraints, and that became very difficult for us. It was very challenging, and therefore it was designed as a very adaptive pavilion. The inspiration here and the ideations you can see here. The project is very unknown in the composition and shape. The client gave us very much creative freedom, no structural constraints, no brief. So the mind had many waves, and therefore Tarang, because Tarang in Hindi means waves. The conceptual design, development and sketches had a purpose in mind, keeping in mind the sun path, air, ventilation, community gathering and encouraging interaction for art and culture was definitely a very important aspect of designing this. The concept was designed with 3 openings. These openings are for ventilation and controlled sunlight, taking into account the specific context of Southwest. These 3 skylights were also the structural members, and they also incorporated rainwater harvesting. The key here is use of a single sustainable material, local terracotta brick tiles, and constructed by local artisans in just 90 days. This approach reduced environmental impact and reduced carbon footprints, supporting the artisans. The material used here is developed as an integral part and not just applied. You can see here we made several horizontal and sectional sections and vertical sections to understand how it would react. Okay. Here you can see the site was marked by a 600 and 600 mm grid and extruded by physical noding. We have also tried to show you the construction process here. The arches in compression, the technique involves spanning without steel or any ancillary structures that are actually used to construct this kind of a trimble vault. We thank the artisans of Sohat and Hunarshala for their perseverance and their hard work to complete this project. Since brick is a very brittle material, we all know, it was a mammoth task to cut it and match the undulations also exactly on site. A small time lapse. As you can see here, the structure of Tarang is complete, and we had kept it under observation because this was the first time, Hunar Shala, us and the client were creating such a large structure. It is the largest as of now. And 2 weeks post this, we realized that some cracks had developed, and we had a joint meeting. Of course, all of us, we were concerned, and we decided to stabilize the structure. We excavated the area around the foundation and used wooden piles to strengthen the structure and stabilize it, and it's been almost 1.5 years. Everything is very stable, no cracks now. So here you can see how Tarang is taken up as a very adaptive and a flexible structure, a way to celebrate Tarang. Children gather joyfully at Tarang, a place for quiet contemplation and social gathering. Yeah. So we had invited Urmish, who's visually impaired from birth. He's my childhood friend, and we wanted him to, give his views of how he feels the structure. He's also a singer, so you can see how he understands the structure by his singing. He managed to tell me कि with the sunlight, kahan se bada hai, kahan uncha hai, stuff like that. It's quite small glimpse. So another small clip that I would like to show you, it's a very short clip. The dance is longer when we had it performed, where the dancers are on the roof, and it showcases the stability of the structure. This is the film that we did. Essentially is an abstraction of what we feel about the structure. And during the film, when you see the release of the rope, it talks about, the release from confinement.
So one interesting story is when we were doing that excavation, when the crack appeared, that time, we all know artisans are integral part of our life. So when they were doing excavation, they all got scared that the structure will crumble. So me and Bhadri, we stood by them, we stand next to them and we told them, even if structure crumbles, it will fall on us also. That is how we encourage them and we stood by them. So that was quite.
There's one more presentation that we'd like to show you. It's a future experimental home. And can we have that? So this is Agritech Home. The word agriculture is derived from two words, architecture and agriculture. It's a futuristic home proposed for a very hot and arid climate at present, but it can be, done in other places also. It talks about sustainable living, which is accessible to all, bridging socio-economic divides, redefining greenhouse living. So imagine future living. This is something we might, think. Future also holds these possibilities: lack of clean air, impure water, scarcity of land. What we are seeing in Delhi, it is very alarming. Poor soil for cultivation, scarcity of space. So what role must an architect play? What role should we play in ensuring the integration of social, economic and ecological wellness in their projects? It's our single duty to look into this. The future also belongs to the rural and the economically weaker communities, and this is the question, primarily that we address to ourselves before, coming up with this concept of agritecture. This is our attempt at agritecture, combining the structure of a greenhouse and the function of a greenhouse with the functionality of a residential and a workspace module. So why choose a greenhouse? When we talk about future home, we talk about a home that addresses self-sufficiency in all kinds of multiple facets such as affordability, scalability, adaptability, sustainability, and also greenhouses are found in most places around the world. So our aim is to redefine the possibilities of agritecture. The key feature of a greenhouse at any given point is its ability to house hydroponic systems. The benefits are substantial: increased oxygen levels, higher production with minimal resources, and fostering self-sufficiency among users. The plan has all sufficient functions for living within the pockets created by the hydroponic zone. This unit has a solid wall of bricks or stone fitted with suction fans on one side, and the opposite side is made of honeycomb pad and charcoal wall. It also has an inbuilt automatic water sprinkler system, which helps to keep the temperature around 24 degrees, which is good for humans and good for hydroponics also. This is a prototype proposed for a future experimental home, and this is a single sample unit. It can be duplicated or multiplied or expanded however we want to do it in different kinds of climates with little bit of tweaking. Both sides of the structure are fitted with rainwater harvesting channels and usable through a well and a hand pump. The honeycomb pad and charcoal wall combined with an automatic water sprinkler system, ensuring optimal conditions for hydroponic farming and human. Suction fans provide adequate ventilation, contributing to energy efficiency and overall comfort. The charcoal wall regulates the greenhouse's internal temperature, utilizing charcoal's natural cooling properties. Charcoal also acts as a natural water purifier. The pipe integrated with suction fans absorbs cool air and recirculates it back into the unit through the underground conduits, much like the geothermal technique. This process not only conserves energy but also optimizes indoor air temperature, transforming the design into a hybrid model. The project emphasizes sustainability and eco-compatibility through several strategies that you can see here, utilizing reclaimed wood, MS, reducing environmental footprint. Polycarbonate sheets enhance natural lighting. We can also use glass but again there is a cost factor, so it's up to the client. The design integrates several functional areas highlighting soil-free agriculture, efficiency. The project utilizes hydroponics to optimize food production, conserving space and resources while enhancing ecology. These practices also provide for the family, and you know what, if they have extra, it can go to the surrounding also, because they also have solar panels. So their other needs are also addressed. This is the design for the honeycomb pad and charcoal wall. The design intervention achieving significant benefits: sustainability, self-sufficiency, innovation in agriculture, health and well-being, socio-economic, eco-conscious elements, urban adaptability, community engagement, multifunctional design, technological integration, economic and climatic viability. We brainstormed various aspects to integrate agricultural elements with residential and workspace environment. The core principles of sustainability, that is ecology, economy and social, were addressed in this. Next. As you can see here, with reduced carbon footprint, indoor air quality which is improved, anti-aging effects, enhanced mental well-being, Agritecture sets an example and talks about a symbiotic relationship between humanity and nature, redefining the concept of sustainable future living. Agritecture represents a shift in architectural design and sustainable living. As agritecture emerges, we imagine a future where innovation and sustainability come together to create spaces that fulfill our need and improve our lives in the world we live in. Innovating living spaces, fostering ecosystem and harmony. Agritecture is a dynamic ecosystem that redefines the intersection of urban living and agrarian practices, advancing towards equitable and sustainable tomorrow. Envisioning tomorrow's eco-responsive habitats. Emphasizing urban adaptability, vertical farming, technological integration. Redefining homes for a greener tomorrow. A very humble and an honest idea for future well-being. It is our conscious human responsibility, with the increase of urbanness that is happening in all the cities, and most of the terraces are dead. So I think now we are in Ahmedabad, of course, and I'm sure in other cities also coming up with a lot of things happening on the roof, because we are taking away the agricultural land when we are building on it. So at least something we can give back, if not very fancy, maybe a agritecture greenhouse. And we'd like to show a small short film for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.